All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Carullo's Corner at it'sallaboutsports.com and also on our sister site at it'sallaboutsports.com. Tonight, I have one of Southern and Central New Jersey's most legendary coaches, Coach Lou Versillo with the Lacey Lions. Coach Versillo, if you want to say hello.
Yes, hello, Joe. How are you?
Doing great now that you're on the show. Really grateful to have you here. Just get started. Tell me the state of the Lacey Lions right now, heading into the 2025 season.
Well, we're working very hard on our culture and trying to get some very young players up to speed to be able to play and participate in this year's schedule.
All right. So, what is a realistic outlook for this year's team? What what would you forecast?
Well, I can't really evaluate that right yet. We're working diligently almost since January. We've been working throughout the off season. Had a hardworking July. Started August 4th. So we're into our scrimmaging season right now. We scrimmaged Williamstown, Ocean City, and Egg Harbor today. And all of those schools are relatively bigger than we are. We're now, our school has shrunk down to a 3. We're not quite the same as we had been years ago, but our kids did play tough today. So the outcome was decent. We have a long way to go yet. We're playing a good number of sophomores, and we only bring maybe 4 returners on offense and 4 on defense. So we're a young team.
Yeah. So you're saying the strength of your team is going to be in the sophomore class, which could bode well for the future. I'm going to go a little deeper. Lacey, as you know, a lot of tradition, very high expectations, which I'm going to get into in a minute. What's your future look like the next couple of years with these kids coming up? Not just these sophomores, but go back a little bit into the youth program. How are things coming up?
Well, again, Joe, I don't think like that. I think day to day.
Right.
I really don't think futuristically like that. I think that kids grow. They'll grow up, as you push them each and every day. If they come in and buy into what you're trying to do, I think that young kids grow relatively quickly. Again, if they buy in, as young athletes, a lot of times that has to do with what their home life is like.
Sure.
If there's a lot of support there in athletics, then they move a little faster than they would if if they don't have that kind of background.
Right. As you know, you guys are a Group 3. Enrollment has gone down there. What can you tell us about some of your opponents this year? With the schedule coming up. Anybody?
Well, we're kind of back in a B, well, what we used to call a B South.
Yeah.
Some of the teams that we had played years ago we're playing again. That is Barnegat and Pinelands and Manchester. Central, of course, is a rival. They're right next door. We'll play Toms River East. We'll play Lakewood. And then we'll play some Group 5s in Howell, Southern Regional, and Freehold Township.
Right. And give everybody a little bit of history of what's going on in the Shore Conference. You were set to play Jackson Liberty, which has now the football program has folded, from what I understand. The school is still in existence, but they have now merged to co-op with Jackson Memorial, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. Yeah. So that's, they're combining their programs over there. So it'll be like the old Jackson Memorial,
which will be a Group 5 now. Tell me a little bit about this year's team coming up. Some of the kids you have. If you want to just take a couple minutes to tell us about some talent that we're going to be seeing on the field this year.
Well, all right. Offensively, we return only one lineman. He happens to be a sophomore. He started for us last year as a freshman, and he's an interesting young man. But again, he's only a sophomore. His name is Gumbaz. His last name is Gumbaz, Logan Gumbaz, and he's a very talented young man. However, he's still youthful. He's still uh, growing, and our expectations are high with him. He'll lead the line effort. Our quarterback returns Brewer, and he has the capability of running the football as well as passing, but he returns, and he's going to give us that experience that we need at that position. The running backs return as well. Davis is potentially a scholarship type athlete.
Right.
Um, he's 6'3", 200 pound running back, and Rozelle, he also played a good number of snaps at the running back position. The wideouts are new, except for we have an interesting person in a Grayson Koch. He's extremely strong for his size as a flanker, and he's a person that can run the jet sweep for us, and he's an excellent receiver as well. So those are the more experienced athletes that'll be on the offensive side. Defensively, we return quite a few of the secondary individuals. Koch will play on the defensive side. A young man named Price is also returning as a corner, and then we have Sturman, who's a linebacker, returns, and they'll pretty much be the individuals that will leave the defensive side. The lines are relatively young on both sides.
All right. So it looks like we're going to get a glimpse at that. I know you don't like to think this way. It looks like we get a good glimpse at the future right now, possibly. A lot of these young kids starting. Um, going back, as I mentioned earlier, this is your 45th year, if I'm not mistaken, coaching.
I think 45th at Lacey,
Right.
50th as a head coach because I was at Red Bank. I was at Red Bank for 5. I started coaching in 1970, so you can add those numbers up, I guess.
And it's just awesome to have you here, with us doing this. A lot of you guys, I know I have Coach Gushu and Coach Usatola coming up later this week. And not just, I don't speak just for myself. A lot of us are thankful that you guys are still doing this. You guys have brought so much, in a love and passion to this game that we enjoy so much. And, it's been great working with you these last 10 years, doing your highlights and everything. And, glad to be able to be part of that program, doing something for you guys. Real quick before you go, looking back on all these years at Lacey, if you just want to share what maybe your best 2 or 3 memories were heading back to the beginning.
Well, there are 2 or 3. There are a lot more than that, of course. When you stay someplace 45 years, I mean,
Sure.
it's a lot more than that.
I'm just putting you on the spot here. I know this is I know there's more than I asked. We can go on.
We've had some interesting years. I mean, in 81, we were an independent team, but we played a varsity schedule. We had a winning season. Our first victory was against Pleasantville in a second outing, and that was an outstanding game. They had a lot of speed. We only had 600 kids in the school at that particular time when we started, and this first year in the league was in the shore conference was in 82, and we went undefeated in that C division and played in a first state playoff game against Delsey.
This would be 82 though, right? Not
82. No, 82. I said 82. Yeah.
Okay, I think you said 92. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, 82. And that particular team was a very, very fine team. I mean, we after that particular group graduated because we didn't bring many starters over here from Central Regional. So it was pretty much a JV team that became very good as a varsity team in '82. And then we had kind of a dip in terms of the numbers, 8 seniors, 8 juniors. We were still growing, but we had another shot at a title in '85. Lost one game, and that was a title game in '85. And we kept growing at that particular time. So we became a B division team in '86 or '7, and Group 3, I believe, by that time.
Yes.
Then in '88, we beat Woodrow Wilson for the state
Huge.
title. And then we beat them again in '89, which was they were ranked #1 in all South Jersey, I believe.
Correct. Yes.
And then we had a run of about 6 conference titles in B division, got into the States a few times in the '90s, had a pretty good run in there. In the 2000s, we grew and they changed the schedule and pushed us up. We were still a Group 3, I believe. And then we became a Group 4 out of 5.
Yeah, that's in 2012 is when they implemented Group 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of state titles in the 2000s and playoff games. I mean, in 2006, we were undefeated, beat Seneca. They were #1 in all South Jersey back then, and we knocked them off. And then in 2010, we went undefeated again, and had another state title there. So we've had our share of victories. We've had our share of victories at Lacey Township. It's kind of like a seesaw thing. We don't. We're a small operation. It's not like some of these places that reload very well. It's kind of like a seesaw. It's up and down.
Yeah. I was saying I was present for those 2 victories in '06 and '10, and what an atmosphere it was those afternoons.
It gets exciting.
Awesome. It was. Your place is a fun place to watch a football game. If anybody has not been off of exit 74, I suggest you check it out someday. It's a great place to watch a football game. But go ahead. I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah. I did forget one of my starters. I want to mention his name because he's our kicker punter named Conforti, and he also plays a corner position and a receiver. I forgot to mention he returns as well, Conforti.
All right, terrific. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks, actually. Gonna take a ride up there. Coach, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Okay.
You the best of luck this season. I know I guess the mantra will be get the culture back. I think that's kind of pretty much.
Well, that's what we're hoping to do. We're working on that diligently, and we're trying to get that back from the ground floor up, the youth level all the way up through the ranks.
Well, that's why I certainly like the fact you're starting a lot of sophomores. I think a year from tonight, we'll do this interview again, and it's a little further on down the line. It's awesome.
I go one day at a time.
I know. You know me, I have a bad habit of thinking way too far ahead sometimes. But listen, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. Again, this is Joe Carullo at Carullo's Corner at it'sallaboutScores.com and now on it'sallaboutsports.com. Coach Frisola, I want to thank you again for coming on the show.
God bless.
See you soon.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, Coach.